when I came back as a Mountie, there was two conditions I told Vince McMahon, and one of them was that I have Jimmy Hart as my manager. Then the other one was that I brought my shock stick with me because I wanted to bring that shock stick. That was my gimmick, my idea. But the other thing is I want to have Jimmy Hart because you guys, I don't know if you know this, I may repeat myself. You may have heard me say this before, but there's not a better manager in the whole world than Jimmy Hart. And I could back my words up. You know, a lot of people say things. Yeah, there's Bobby Heenan, and there's this, there's Slick, and there's this, Mr. Fuji. There's a bunch of them. But what made Jimmy Hart, for me, the best manager of all times is contrary to all the other managers when they get on the microphone to start a promo or something, where the other managers go and say, well, you know what? You know, I got the brains, and I'm this, and I'm that, and I'm smart. Jimmy Hart would never take no appreciation for himself at all. He would never. He'd always come on there and say, hey, let me tell you something about my man. Let me tell you something about my man. My man is the fastest. My man is the smartest. He would never talk about himself. And by the time we got to start talking on the interview, he built us up so huge and so important, so big that our confidence was just flowing, you know. And so Jimmy Hart, and then Jimmy Hart would come in, and I wouldn't be with him for more than a weekend. He'd come in with a suit with all my designs on a suit, like, you know, he'd make suits that would go for his men. He would make the music for his talent. He would be the guy that was. I've never seen a guy more punctual than Jimmy Hart. We had to go do a TV show, a radio show. We had to be for TVs, for promos. We had to be there at 2:00. Jimmy Hart was there at 1:00. He was there 1 hour before, just like Raymond and I. We've always been punctual, and punctuality and straight. If I mean straight, like with all your brain, you know. So Jimmy Hart for me is the goat of wrestling, and no one. You could say what you want, and not because he was my manager twice for 4 years altogether, but just because he's such a professional. He's 80 years old today. I meet him in Comic-Cons again. We do things together. He has not changed a bit. He comes in there, talk to him for a second. Hey, Jimmy Hart, you're the greatest. Oh, well, you know, let me tell you something. It's all because of the Hart Foundation, and it's because of the Rougeau brothers, and it's because of he's always putting the glory and the reasons why he was so big to the people that surrounded him, instead of taking what he should do for himself. That's why I do it so much, because he never did it for himself.
Yeah, he sounds like a guy that's came out of the business for so long somehow and has no ego attached as well, which is cool.